something a little bit different, but kind of the same. We have a new linoleum block here that I'm just carving on. I'm actually clearing around on the perimeter. I need to pull up my YouTube channel here. Just give me 1 second. To pull up. My iPad's dead. I'm not prepared. I'm a little late. I said I'd be here at 1:30. But it's okay. It doesn't look like anyone's on yet. So today we're just going to do a little bit of carving on this linoleum block. And I can talk about what I'm doing here briefly. So if I go to my channel, my iPad's dead. All right, so I have to wait for the comments and stuff for a couple minutes. But let me get my sketch pad. I'll show you what I'm doing here. So I'm making some Christmas cards for the holiday season, and I figured I'd make a YouTube video about it. So I'm just recording the process of how I would start like a little design like this. So these are just some simple watercolor paintings that I just made up from my imagination. I'm just gonna have like the background, some distant landmass, some pine trees, and like a little bit of island and like some reflection in the water. And I've made prints that are similar to this style or this composition before, but I wanted to show the process and how easy it is to actually make. There's also going to be a lot of snowflakes which we're going to carve into the block, which is going to be fun, and you get to design the way the snowflakes fall. So I started with these two watercolor sketches that I just did really quick. I traced them, glued them down to the block, and I'm going to do two up, meaning I'm going to have two of one registration set here, one piece of paper coming down, and I'll be printing two at the same time. It's similar to this here. This is how they used to do it back in the day. I have two. This is two up. I got this from Dave Bull at Mocha Hong Kong, and they found this old block set, and they would print them this way because it's twice as fast. So the same printer can just brush on the red ink, put the paper down, print it, take it off, do the whole thing twice. And then when they trim the margin and trim the prints, they have double rather than just doing one at a time. So they would carve them on one single block, similar to what I'm doing here. So I'll keep this handy. I'll show this again when more people log on, hopefully. This was kind of a last minute announcement that I'll be doing a live stream. So I'm not expecting to see many people on here today. So I'm just going to start. You know, I'm trying to show different tools that you could use. I'm trying to show people how easy and how fun it is to make a reductive print. And I'm recording this for a YouTube video. But so I opened up some of these speedball tips for this like speedball. Everyone's seen these in the past, I'm sure. And I'm using these chisels, these gouges right out of the package, and they are just absolutely terrible. I mean, they're just so terrible at cutting. I even took them onto this little honing block that I have, and I just tried to sharpen them. That's just eating away at the. But I tried to sharpen these and hone them so that they're a little bit sharper. And I'm testing them out for this video, and they are just, I mean, they cut. Don't get me wrong, they cut, but they are not very fun to cut with. I guess this is getting better. This is like a shallow U gouge, so this one's not bad. This is more of a V gouge. It's not bad, but I don't really like the angle that they come in at. And for clearing out large spaces, like I'm trying to clear out this large space, like to sit there and use one of these chisel tips. This is they have like a square, like a U channel, like a square. I tried using that, and that thing does not cut worth a darn. So, and then you have like a real bullnose chisel, a Japanese woodblock chisel, which I use for wood, and it's just so much more enjoyable. So that's a whole other YouTube channel. I'm going to review, or a YouTube video. I'm going to review different quality tools. I'm going to have these speedball, which are very inexpensive. I'm going to review some of these flex cut tools, which are not very great quality, and then I'll review the higher quality tools that I use, the Japanese tools. And I'm going to put the price points of each one and looking for like an investment. They even have these really inexpensive tools you can just get on Amazon. So I haven't really tried this yet, but that actually cuts better than the speedball red handle ones. So I'm going to do a whole review, a video on all these different tools at some point soon. And I think that'll be really beneficial because my goal is to get more people into carving linoleum, carving wood blocks. And that's kind of what I'm doing here, and I'm showing my process so other people can get inspired and learn from it. So I'm just going to sit here and carve today for a little bit, talk to you. And this will probably just be a short stream, but I haven't done a live stream in a couple weeks here because I've been so busy with I was doing live streams almost every day, but I was so busy getting my exhibition installed and started. So that has been hanging now for a couple weeks. And the show, or the exhibition if you're wondering, was a huge success. I had a lot of friends and family that came out and supported me. And we sold I sold 5 pieces before the opening started. A couple paintings and a couple framed prints sold before I even got there on Saturday evening or Saturday afternoon. So that was exciting, showing up to your art opening with 5 pieces sold. That's always a great feeling of accomplishment. And you know, selling the work isn't I guess it's a goal of mine, but it's not really what decides my success as an artist, by how many prints or how many things I sell. I really enjoy just like sharing my work with people, but you know, when people buy your stuff, it's nice because then it helps financially. It helps you. And then a bunch of my friends and family, they bought some prints and they really enjoyed. They really enjoyed the most were these prints that I've made and printed on the live stream. So I sold a bunch of these, and then the nighttime scene with the moon. I'll pull one of those out for you. This one here. These essentially sold out. I have one left, but it's already sold. I have to bring it to the gallery, and I'm saving one for myself. So these are gone. I made 10 of them. So this print is officially sold out. I am going to be doing another variation of this moon nighttime series, but I'll be changing the color scheme to make it different. Excuse me. So overall, it was a really successful exhibition. People are still purchasing some of my works. A couple people bought some paintings yesterday, and the show is getting close to being maybe 50 to 60% sold out. So I'm really excited about that. And mostly I'm excited about that because I don't really want all of those prints and paintings coming back home with me because I don't have anywhere to store them, really, any space. I'd keep a couple of the paintings for myself, but everything's going to go on my website for sale after the exhibition. It'll be all at the same price. I'm not going to change the prices at all. And I'm just going to put it all up on my website and hopefully people buy it. And then we had a little after party at my friend's house. My friends and family came, and it was a great time. And it was a really fun experience altogether. I'm glad it's over because it's about 9 months of really hard work. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about what I like to do and what I don't like to do when it comes to printing and painting. Things that take too much time to accomplish, and things that are, I just learned a lot about how I like to work and how much time it takes to, when I made this print, it was one of the first prints I made. This took over 2 months to make. And I enjoy the quality of it, and it was a fun process, but it's just so detailed and so many layers. I feel like I can accomplish something similar to this in a shorter amount of time. So I learned a lot about myself and the way I want to work in the future. And then finishing up with this print, which is the last print. I printed this the night before I installed. So this was still wet when I installed the exhibition. And this was the most successful print. This is the print that got the most feedback. And this is the print that I designed and started all from a marker sketch in my sketchbook. So this is 100% my style and my creativity into a print, and seeing it be the most appreciated print at the exhibition, or the most interested print, or the print that people were most interested in, was really exciting to see. So I want to start doing more of this kind of stuff, where I'm just doing a sketch, doing a quick sketch from my imagination or from life, transferring it to a block, and having fun with the process. And in the end, it's going to create something that's unique and something that's original. I'm really trying to get away from photographs and working more from life. Hey Pam, glad to see you're here. It's been a couple weeks since I did a live stream, so I figured I'd turn the camera on for 20 minutes or half an hour, give you guys an update. So my lap, or my, this isn't working here. I need a better cable. Let me see if I can get a better cable here. I'm trying to, hold on one second. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna be long on this stream today. So yeah, I'm printing this one. What I'm doing here is just carving some linoleum. I'm doing 2-up. It's similar to this print, which I bought from Dave Bull a while back. And this is 2-up, where they carved and printed the same exact design twice. Same block, and they would print it at the same time so that they could generate more prints in the same amount of time. So when I bought this from Dave, I said, don't cut the sheet. I want it 2-up because I want to display it this way. And you could see the snowflakes in the sky, these simplified tree shapes in the background, and then everything else up here is very detailed. But in this design, it's going to be way more simplified than what you're looking at there. But there's going to be about 3 or 4 levels of space, and there's going to be lots of snowflakes in these. So I'm going to have real fun with these. I'm going to print these 2-up, so at the same time. And my plan is to give these away to friends and family for Christmas or for the holidays. But my idea is to print a lot of these. I'm not sure how many. Probably start with a couple hundred. And my goal is to go to, they have a lot of these open markets, open air markets, especially around the holidays. There's one, I think, at like Columbus Circle, Central Park. They have one at like Bryant Park, and they have one, they have a market every weekend, I think, at Union Square. But around the holidays, there's a lot of people shopping for handmade things, unique little gifts and crafts for people. And so my goal is to print a bunch of these out, get my YouTube and my website information on the back, and I'm going to be giving these away to people. And I'm going to make a YouTube video about it where I'm just giving them to people. I'll show them the block, and they'll be able to turn the print over, and there'll be a barcode with my YouTube. And I'm really going to start pushing like marketing this holiday season for my website, for my YouTube channel. I'm fully committed to continue working as a printmaker and as an artist, and I really want to find a way to make this work financially. So that was my goal with this. I'm going to print a bunch of these. I'm making a YouTube video out of it. So I'm kind of doing a couple different things with this design. Making a video out of it, but I'm also going to take these prints and they're going to be gifts this holiday season. And I don't want to spend too much time carving. Last year I carved a reproduction of a Dürer print, and I just don't have that much time this season to do that. So yeah, so that's what I... Hey Stuart, I'm gonna print these, but when I print them, I'm gonna do a couple different variations as I'm going. So these are gonna be reductive. So I'll probably ink them, and I can do a night scene with one of them. So I'm gonna ink them, and I could clean them off and do a couple different variations. So I have a little bit of unique. So I will do one that's a little bit darker. One will be like a daytime scene, and one will be a night scene. That's a good idea. And one I was, towards the end, I was thinking of maybe putting like a little light, maybe a little Hasui influence. You put a little light here in the distance here, and you have just a little bit of a reflection of a light, just to give it a little bit of pop, something like that. I could do a moon. I could turn one of these into a moon and then print at the same. I kind of want to utilize the roller, but if I have to print them individually, I can, but I'm just using the same, the same block to make everything consolidate and to save on materials. So yeah, I could do a night scene and a day scene. Seems like people really like the evening scenes with the moons and the reflections in the water. So this is just a simple little design, but we'll see how it goes. It could be very successful, I think. But nice to see everyone back. Welcome back to the live streams. I did post a couple YouTube videos after my exhibition. I said I needed to dedicate some time to marketing and get some YouTube videos back out there. So hopefully you guys watch those. And the first one I put out there, which was making this print, but the first version, it's doing really good. It's got over 4,000 views, and the algorithm has it, and it's taking off on YouTube. I gained about 200 followers in about 4 days, which is really big for me. So I'm really excited about that. And it's making me just want to keep on going and keep on making videos and prints and just keep sharing this process. I love seeing everyone's comments. People that you could tell are printmakers or people that are new to printmaking, and they are watching my videos to learn from, and they're inspired by my videos. And that's actually my goal with all this, is just to keep spreading the word, and hopefully getting people out there to either appreciate this art form or want to learn how to do it themselves. So I'm looking at my phone today, so if I miss any comments, you can just type them in again, because I have to look at my screen. My iPad is dead. I'm unprepared for this today. It was kind of just a last minute thing. But you haven't really seen me do any live carving yet, because this is a new experience for me. So it's always me printing. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask. But I'm just clearing this the negative space around the perimeter of the image. These little prints are going to be, they're 4 by 6 inches, and then there'll be a 1/2 inch border. So it'll be a 5 by 7 paper size or sheet size. And that fits perfectly into an envelope, so I could ship these to people for the holiday season. I've made some prints like this before in the past that are similar to this design. And some Hasui prints that I've reproduced are similar to this genre. Trees and lakes. I know someone mentioned that Hasui video a few weeks back when I was talking about different YouTube ideas, video ideas. And I watched that Hasui video again where he goes out into the landscape and he travels out to the country and he walks around and finds inspiration. And he makes that sketch of the homes and just the urban scene. And then he brings it back. He redraws it with ink onto a Gampi sheet. Brings it over to the carver. The carver glues it down. He carves, gives it to the printer. The printer prints the key block. And then Hasui sits down again and makes the color sheets. He paints the color sheets or the color transfers. Again, back to the carver. He prints it all out, or carves it all out. And back to the printer, he prints it out, and then you have this finished print in the end. And what a process. I'm thinking of making some similar videos where I show that whole process too. But I want to start from life. I want to start from observing and designing. I don't want to do it from photographs. So this one's just for my imagination, but you might start seeing some new videos of me where I'm outside working, either sketching or painting, bringing them back to my studio and kind of I need to formulate like some sort of format for these videos. So you will see, so I did film a video a couple days ago, and I could share it with you guys because you guys are all, you guys have all been loyal followers or subscribers, and you guys watch my live streams, and so I like to share this stuff with you first. But I'm gonna come out with a video and I actually introduce myself and I show my face. And we go on a little adventure and I do a little bit of painting. And it's just a quick little 7 or 8 minute video. And I'm just turning my faceless channel. And I just want to introduce myself and be a little bit more personal, making it a little bit more personal, showing you who I am. And so look forward to that. I think I'll be posting it this afternoon, actually. Probably right when I get off of this. Well, maybe tomorrow. You'll probably see it tomorrow because I need to still design the thumbnail. And I have to edit it a little bit more. So maybe tomorrow, Tuesday, keep an eye out for this little a brief introduction, a little bit about myself kind of video. But yeah, I had to bite the bullet, and I just missed that comment. Whoever just commented, sorry, I just missed it. So if you could just type in that again, it just disappeared. I don't know how to see let's see if I can pull these up. Chat viewing options. Welcome to, oh, here we go. I have it up now. What about 8 views of New York or more local area? Yes. Don't forget to have a smoke between each step. I know. The smoking part of those videos is like the coolest part of the videos. Man, those guys really like suck them down too, man. They are some hardcore smokers, those guys. The printer. I'm sorry, the carver. Really enjoys his cigarettes. Yeah, so I won't be smoking on the videos because I don't smoke, so unfortunately. Maybe I could do something else. I don't know. I can like eat something. I can eat something that's local. You know, I can eat a bagel. Or I could eat a slice of pizza from a pizza place. Yeah, I could bring something that's local into it. 8 views of New York City. Yeah, I would love to start a series where, you know, I design a series of reasons or, you know, prints that. So I've always had an idea. I can run it by you guys as well. I've always had this idea. I love bridges in New York City. There's a lot of bridges in New York City. I think in total, how many was it? 24 bridges in Manhattan alone. So there's 24 bridges or somewhere around there. in Manhattan alone. And I thought it would be really cool to either take a subway or ride my bike to a bridge. So there's 3 bridges that are within 1 mile of my house here. There's one at the end of my block. It's the Broadway Bridge, which is a really cool bridge that used to elevate. It would raise up and lower down to let boats in and out of the Harlem River here. But it'd be really cool to just pick a single bridge, just start at the north end here from my block, and just go around all of Manhattan in like a counterclockwise or clockwise, and just get every single bridge that's connected to Manhattan. I think it's 24, and design a print from observation, and then make a print out of it. If I did 2 a month, that would be a 1-year project. So it'd be 24 prints altogether. So it would be like 24 views of New York City, or however many bridges there are. And there's a few exceptions. A couple are not some are only pedestrian bridges. Like High Bridge it used to be an aqueduct. Yeah, I think it would be really cool. And Stuart, High Bridge used to be an aqueduct where it would bring water into Inwood, and used to bring water into Manhattan. There's just so much history behind a lot of these bridges, and if I kind of dove deep into the history of it, and as I was sketching and designing the process, I could give you a brief history of the bridges, who designed them, and give you a little bit of background as like a voiceover. And then you would see me, carving and printing the designs. And if I kept to a specific format, and you could collect you can get the whole series if you wanted to sign up for it, or you could buy them individually. But similar to what Dave Bull does, it would just be a series that you could pay for up front, and you could be included on it. But it's something that I would really have to stick to it and follow through. So it's a big commitment. I don't think I would be doing it in Mokahanga. Maybe I would do some of them Mokahanga, and some of them would be linoleum cuts. So they would be a mixture of prints, I think, a mixture of techniques, which can also be interesting because each one I can do a little bit differently. I can do different times of day. It would be different seasons, and I think it would be really interesting. Different vantage points. Some could be from underneath the bridge, or some could be from like New Jersey looking towards Manhattan for like, say, the George Washington Bridge. It could be looking towards the city or looking away from the city. So it's just so many different opportunities. So I've been thinking about something like that, committing to a project like that. And if I can get enough people to sign on, so if I made a Patreon page, and I could lock people in, if I could lock, say, 50 people in at a certain price per print, or they could do it through my website, I could cap it off at a certain amount, and then I would have some steady income for a year. Fortunately, the way the shipping is going in this world, especially in the US and Canada, I would have to limit it to probably US citizens only, just to keep the shipping costs down and affordability. And just the headache of shipping would be really, it'd have to just be some USPS flat rate shipping, US only. And if somebody was interested in it that's international, they would just have to wait for the series to be over, and then I could ship all of the prints to them, and then they would have to pay for that shipping cost. So that's one idea I had. But I've always loved bridges, and New York City has a lot of them. Plus, it would generate some interest from other people, from other aspects of, more people that are interested in architecture, or people that are interested in bridges, they would generate some interest in that sort of genre, or in that niche of YouTube. So it looks like I'm almost done with clearing around these. Is there a Bridge Historical Society? I bet they would love to see like a set like that. Yeah. Yeah, Canada probably isn't so much of a problem. It's more like internet, like Europe and Asian countries. Yeah, make a book, a hand-bound book. Do it the way Dave does it. Oh my God, that'd be so cool. What a project that would be. That's a good idea, Sylvia. Have a nice hot cup of coffee or tea to get that smoke effect. The Bronx Zoo. Yeah, I've been to the Bronx Zoo many times, and I know it's a good zoo, but I've always felt bad for all those animals that are kept in those small areas. And I know a lot of them are there for various reasons, and they wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for the Bronx Zoo. But man, it's kind of depressing seeing those animals caged up. So I try not to go to the Bronx Zoo anymore. I've been there probably a dozen times with my son, but I try not to go to the Bronx Zoo too often. I'm not putting it down. It's a great zoo. Definitely check it out if you're a tourist or you've never been there. It's great. But I've just been there so many times. It's like the Natural History Museum. I've been there so many times. And I love the Natural History Museum, but I'd prefer to go to the Met, because the Met just has more paintings, and that's really what I want to see. I want to see artwork. That's what I love. So yeah, I figured out how I could pull up the comments on my phone. I just have to tap the screen. I'm gonna look into, I know there's an architectural New York City Historical Society, a general New York City Historical Society. They actually have a museum. It's right by the, the Natural History Museum on the west, Central Park West. So I could reach out to them. I realize I'm probably moving this camera because it's touching the tripod. That's annoying. Sorry about that. So I'm just smoothing out these areas here, just making them flat, because ink likes to get stuck on these higher areas. And I was mentioning before, I was using the speedball to show how you can use different tools to carve with. And man, these speedball, they're terrible to carve with. So I feel bad for people who are getting into this and this is what they have to use, because they are really crappy. You have to hone them down to get them to cut properly, or sharpen them essentially. And they're just very low quality. There's like a, you know, they flex, and this Battleship Gray linoleum is what this is called. It's just not a very, fun way to carve. And when you have sharp tools like these, and you're using a hangito or a traditional carving knife, it's just it just cuts through like butter, and it's safe. These are very unsafe to use. I'm getting Larry David vibes. You just want to the zoo to yourself and son, low quality, only kidding. No, I don't mind. I'm not saying anything bad about the zoo. I've always felt bad for seeing animals that are kept in captivity, that's all. And I've been to the zoo many times, so I just, you know, once you go there many times, it just kind of, it loses the appeal. I'm not saying anything bad about the zoo. I know that all those animals are there for various reasons. So please don't get me wrong. The zoo's great. If you haven't been there, definitely check it out. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I've been there many times. I've been to many zoos. So I'm not saying anything bad about zoos. But that zoo does get very busy on the weekends, especially. But I like to go to other places too. I like to go to the botanical gardens. Sorry, I didn't say low quality. The mic picked it up. So what are we doing here? We're just carving along. I put this tape on here so I don't carve away the Kento marks. Yeah, the Bronx Botanical Gardens is amazing. The Brooklyn Botanical Gardens is amazing. And I go there quite often. I do like Larry David though, so I don't know if that's a compliment or a criticism. Central Park, yes. 8 views of Central Park. That'd be a great one, Pam. Because Central Park has so many interesting views. There's a lot of bridges in Central Park too, where you could just do bridges of Central Park. I don't know how many there are, but there are a lot of bridges in Central Park. A lot of history there. I just like the bridges of Manhattan because they're all built at different times for different reasons, starting with the Brooklyn Bridge. The Brooklyn Bridge was the first bridge. And maybe you could do it in order they were built, which would be really cool. You start with the Brooklyn Bridge and you work your way up to more contemporary bridges. And they're all built for various reasons. Actually, maybe the High Bridge was the first one built because they were bringing one, but I'm not sure about that. We'll have to figure that out. So yeah, it'd be really interesting. I'd have to sit down and like plan it and write it and like really think about it. But it's so nice to be able to sit here and talk to everyone about these ideas and kind of just share. I've been to the Montreal Botanical Garden this past August, and it was amazing. The Chinese and Japanese gardens, the Chinese garden especially with all those miniature trees and all the architecture, the Chinese architecture that they have in that is amazing. And it's huge. You could definitely spend more than one day there. And then the Japanese area, which was very interesting. It was very simplified, very natural. What a great botanical gardens, Montreal. I went to Montreal for the first time this summer, and we had a great time. It was such a lovely city. And next time I go, I am going to be cycling because it's a very cycling-friendly city. So next time I go, I'm bringing my bike, and I'm going to be cycling around, and I'll definitely be going back to Montreal. I do want to make it up to Quebec as well. I want to do some of that. I want to go in the winter and go to a hockey game, and I want to go to Quebec and do that ice skating, that outdoor ice skating through the forest. That looks really amazing. But I'm a Buffalo Sabres fan, unfortunately, and I'd like to catch a Buffalo Sabres game in Montreal sometime. I think that'd be a really cool experience. Well, I gotta run, guys. It's nice catching up with you guys. I'll be doing more of these live streams on these blocks in the next couple of days as I'm filming it for YouTube. But I'm really glad that we got to talk here. And thanks for listening and for partaking in this conversation. And yeah, go support your local zoo, your local art museum, your local gardens. Those are all really important aspects of a culture and everyone's city. And I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow for the next one. I'll probably be doing these again like every day. So welcome back, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.